Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I've just been tidying my makeup drawer and makeup bags. I've got two, and I just sifted out the stuff that's not really working for me, and I would call these regrets, in that some of them I can continue to use and find a way to make them work. It's not that I'm throwing them all away, but some of them I am, because I just can't stand them. But I just wanted to share, we always share favorites on here, but sometimes it's more useful if people share like what didn't work for them, so that if you have a similar preferences to me, you might want to avoid them. But I also appreciate, like everyone says in these videos, that just because I am bashing or don't like something that you really like, don't take it personally. It just didn't work for me, and it might even be I'm not applying it properly, or I don't use it in the way that it's supposed to be used, but I just don't like any of these things, or I like them, but I don't like them enough to not regret the purchase, because they were, in one particular example, super expensive, but not really, when I reflect back, worth the money for me, but you might really love. So let's dive in. So let's start with some skincare type stuff and work our way through to like lips. This is the Charlotte's Magic Hydration Reveal Cleanser. I love the idea of this. It starts as a kind of foaming face wash and then turns into a milk, and it just caused a really stingy, angry reaction. I think it was like my skin barrier felt quite sort of damaged. I felt very red and dry and reactive for a while. So we left it on the sink to use as a hand wash, and it actually caused my daughter to have sore, like red, irritated reaction in between her fingers. So it's just got to go. We don't have a use for that here. We've used quite a lot of it up. Next is a Supergoop. I'm not swatching anything because I tried doing that just now and it was making, I could see from the time count, it was just going to be so long. So I'm just showing you so that you get an idea of the product. It's not really about the shades. This is the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen, the SPF 30 version. I do like these mini sunscreens for taking out with you in your bag to apply a bit more. But again, I just didn't like, I mean, I did a lot of research on SPFs to try that play well under makeup, and this came up in a few videos, but I just don't like the texture of it. It's ultra like silicone-y, which normally plays nicely under makeup, but what I felt like was it had a real silicone-y slip. But when I blended makeup, even if I went very kind of like with a BK Beauty brush sweeping, this pilled and flaked and just looked awful. So that's a no-no. Okay, moving on to like complexion products. I've got two of the Balm Essentials from Chanel here, and they just don't work for me, but I know a lot of people love them. The first one is the Mermaid Glow, and I was lured in by just the prettiness of the sparkle and the shade in this one. I don't really want to swatch because I don't want to get it everywhere, but basically I swatched it a short while ago, and I've used two beauty wipes, and my hand is still covered, I don't know if you can really see that, in glitter. It is face glitter, which is why I'm giving it to my 9-year-old to play with her friends. Because it's Chanel, I know it's not going to damage her skin or anything. She's got sensitive skin, but there's no subtle way for me to apply that doesn't look like glitter. And just my opinion, you do you, but I don't think that a mature woman needs to be going around with like duochrome glitter all over her face, unless I'm going to like a Mums That Rave disco type thing, or dressing up. And it also is a very tacky, sticky formula that I don't really enjoy. And so stupidly, I bought Solar Glow from the summer collection when I bought the lovely Le Beige palette. I got carried away with that collection, and I was looking for a new stick bronzer because I love my Merit one, but it doesn't last. It's very sheer, and I'd have to take it out with me and keep doing more. So I thought, oh, I'll try a more pigmented one of these sticks, and it looks very pigmented in the stick. It blends out sheer. It also, maybe because of the whatever oils they've used in here, I feel like it breaks down my foundation or skin tint underneath, and then they kind of blend together, I mean instantly, not over the day, to make a muddy mess. And I've tried playing with this a few times. It's too sticky to use any, like in the eye, around the eyes, or even as a topper on top of another bronzer. It didn't really play, so I just have to accept that these are not for me. And another bronzer is this one that I was given free with purchase from Charlotte Tilbury. Thank God I didn't buy it. It is the Beautiful Skin Sun-Kissed Glow Bronzer in Fair. I don't know why I don't like this. I just hate it. I've tried it several times. It's the colour, the tone. It's very similar in appearance and formula to the Chanel Le Beige one in the tub. But that one, I feel like you can use a big brush and put it all over the face just to like take your skin a shade or two darker. The Chanel Beauty Counter SA near me uses it as a summer foundation with just a tiny bit of concealer. And I used to love playing. I just got bored of it and I didn't replace it the last time I kind of had one of those. I used about half of it and it was like 2 or 3 years old, so I decluttered it and I won't buy that again. It doesn't really work for me. But this I thought would be good. I was like, what a lovely free gift. And it just is a horrible colour on me. It's sort of olivey, slightly yellow, but also has like a grey on me undertone, like a kind of a dull contour product. I'm not putting it on my face to show you because I don't want to, but get it on my face. It feels like a nice-ish cream formula, but it's just, I don't know if you can see, it's like a khaki, dingy colour on me, and I really dislike it. Okay. Oh, this is sad. Dior. This is really recent purchase. This is the Rouge Blush 225 Delicate Rose. So it's a satin blush, it says, which I don't think it is because it's very dusty and dry and matte. And this is a limited edition, and I often love the shades, and I have some excellent Dior limited edition powder blushes. This is a delicate colour. I knew that going into it, but it's definitely not a satin. It is, you can feel it when you, even when I'm swatching it, it's dry. It's as dry as a bone, and it's almost impossible to get any. Can you see? No, you can't see because it's just hardly there, even on my finger. I've used it today and I've gone in with a very, very natural hair, slightly, not the softest brush. This is an old Bobbi Brown brush that picks up pigment like nobody's business. And I've had to really swirl, 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 swirl. And really, it doesn't have a lot of presence, and it's not satin. It's very, very, I think, matte and flat and dusty looking, and has made texture come up. No, that's got to go. Not good. We live and learn by these mistakes. And now I've got a couple of things from Merit. You're going to be shocked by this because I love Merit and I still think Merit's a great brand, but I do think this product needs more development, more work. This is the Minimalist. It's their skin stick that they say conceals, can be used all over as a foundation. I just find it really hard to get a good result with this. I've always like willed it to work because I'm a fan of the brand, but it's not the best, to be honest. I'm in the shade Linen, and when you draw it on, it reminds me of the Backstage makeup that was used on me in school plays. It's waxy and quite thick and doesn't sit in a kind of skin-friendly way that melts into the complexion. If you are oily, you might really like this. If you are dry, you have to do a lot of prep. That's why I think they developed their Great Skin Serum, because if that's freshly applied, you can kind of get this to glide over that, press it into your skin. But even on a good day, I have to use such a tiny amount of it to get away with it that actually I haven't achieved any coverage. So I'm actually finally giving up on this product because I've found 2 or 3 things that I really prefer a lot better since I had that. And then this is a weird reason. This is the Day Glow Highlighting Balm in Carver from Merit. I love the packaging on this one. It's shiny, luxe feeling. I love it. I love the actual look. I cannot bear the smell to the point that I can't use it. It makes me feel sick. At the moment, I'm using a GLP-1 medication to help me slim and manage blood sugar, and I just feel some parts of the week, the first part of the week after my injection, I feel a little bit sometimes squeamish, slightly nauseous, and even now, like, I don't feel like that today, but just the smell of that is just, I can't. It's that melting jumbo kids wax crayon thing, and I can't deal with it. And also it's not very firm. You can see it's almost like just up here, it's not particularly warm today. It's very melty and oily. So it's almost like in high summer you need to, yeah, I've just made a mess of it all over the lid. You need to keep this in the fridge. There are better highlighters and I just can't. I can't just have everything from Merit because I'm a fan of the brand. I have to accept that even though I've worked with them before as a partner, I probably won't again if they ever see this, but I'm just, you know me, I'm honest, and if I don't enjoy something, I'm going to let you know about it. Jones Road. This is a mini size of the Miracle Balm. I can't stand the Miracle Balm. Again, it's one of those products I just don't understand. It's like a slightly tinted Vaseline balm. with, again, not a very pleasant herbal smell. Some people like it. This is Dusty Rose. I got the mini. You know when there's a product that just never worked for you, and so you kind of, though, forget the detail and get rid of it, and then you're like, the curiosity comes back. Maybe it would work for me if I did it differently. This is probably, I might just keep this in a drawer somewhere to remind me that this doesn't really work for me, because I've done that before. I've revisited products that don't really work for me. I had a big one of these when Jones Road launched, and I did a haul. I've done a whole brand overview. It can look okay on the skin, but it feels heavy, greasy. There's not much color payoff, so you have to use a lot of it, and your hair sticks to it. And then if you ever touch your face like I do, your phone is covered in it, your steering wheel is covered in it. I don't do greasy slime. No. Okay, this is their lip and cheek stick in bright coral. Nice color. This is terrible packaging. I had another color of this a couple of years ago, and I liked that. It was a pinky one, and I made it work. And then eventually the lid just wouldn't work anymore, and I ended up decluttering it. But I just feel like for the price of these, they could do better. This metal component, the lid and the base do not line up in a kind of quality way. It's hard to show on here, but like, it doesn't line up quite right, and you have to pull so hard to get the lid off. And it's just so orange. I wanted that kind of corally blush, and I've since found the Huda Beauty, the Armani. They are refined formulas in creams or gels or liquids that just go on beautifully. This is just not it. I've used it a few times, and it just looks lurid and too bright on me, and the packaging just annoys me, and it's not the one. And then lastly, from Jones Road, this is something I was so excited to try. It's the Neutralizer pencil in Fair Pink. So I'd had their concealer little stick like this and found it very dry under the eye. Very similar result, but even stiffer and drier than this, in that it looked waxy and stiff. But a few people said, oh, this is a game changer because it's that pinky, very light color to really brighten under the eye. And it is a really useful color for my skin tone, that stripe there. I said I wasn't going to swatch these things, but on my hand, which has had loads of product in it and has got some residual oil, it had okay slip, but already I could see when I relaxed my hand, it's kind of like highlighting the fine lines. And under the eye, it just, to get any of the pigment brightening, it's not worth the cost, which is that you could see you've got like a dry crayon on your eye. So I've tried that for a couple of months. Doesn't work for me. We need another wipe because we're a mess. We're getting there, people. Lip oil, Rare Beauty lip oil. I like the colours I've got. I swatched them earlier actually, and I cannot for the life of me get them off my hand completely. So these lip oils from Rare Beauty, I think, should be named lip stains. So they're on a doe foot, and this is a nice neutral kind of mauvey pink called Hope, and this is Joy, and it's more orangey corally, quite bright. So when they go on, they look glossy, they glide on nicely, but within about 20 minutes on me, any lip oil, any cushioning, any kind of actual lip product that sits there and plumps or glossifies your mouth is gone, and I'm left with a stain that is really long wearing, but is very tacky. When you tap your lips together, it's like the back of sellotape, and a little bit dry and clingy, and just then becomes patchy when you drink a cup of coffee or something. So I did try these for quite a while, thinking everybody else loves them, but they're going just because I don't use them. They are not a great formula. There are so many incredible lip oils out there, and I just think these are not it. But I know a lot of people really like them, just not for me. Okay, we've only got two things left, and they are both from Chanel. And they are the super luxury expensive lipstick launch from, is it last year now or earlier this year? I think last year. So you get the case, you get the crystal lipstick. This was called 31 Le Rouge. This is the packet for the individual refill. So I've got two colors. I bought number 2, which is called, it's this one, which is like a kind of a warmer, corally, orangey, kind of wearable shade. It's nice. It's kind of fall. It's not a summery coral on me. It's like a fall kind of shade, but I like it. And it's number 2, and that is Rouge Croisette. So you just pop the refill out, and I can pop in my second shade, which was number 1. And what did number 1, was that called? Rouge Beige. And that's a very nice nude, very sheer, a bit light for me, but just a lip beautifier. And it's very sheer, but it's got a tiny bit of like, is it gold or pearl, like shimmer particles. I'll put this one on, I might as well. Goes on fairly smooth, nothing spectacular. It's a bit light, so it makes my teeth look a bit yellow. But long and short of it is I don't feel it's worth the money. The component, the crystal component, was about, with one colour, I think was like 140, and then it was another 60 maybe pounds or 70 pounds for another refill. You had to get the component. You can't just use the refills because there's no way of twisting up the lipstick. I guess you could have bought the colour, used a lip brush and dug it out if you really wanted the lipsticks but you weren't bothered about the case. But that's not what this release was about, was it? It was about the luxury of this weighty crystal thing that you had to carry around in this protector. The lid never really fit, the magnet's really weak, so if I just didn't want to take the faff of this little case thing, I mean it's cute, it's got the CC on it, then often I would find it in my handbag separate like that. I never got the pleasure of this component, not £140 worth. I also don't even think it's the best lipstick that Chanel makes. I'll leave this on now, and it's fine. It's not sticky, tacky. I can't really feel it. It's quite lightweight. But over the day, it's not a particularly moisturizing formula. It's not particularly long wearing. I think there are other lipsticks from Chanel that are better. In particular, my favorite ever formula that feels super luxurious from Chanel is the L'Extract de Chanel, or L'Extrait de Chanel, which are these quite, where is it? These slimmer ones. Is this one? It's hard for me to get in this makeup drawer. Where isn't it? Oh, here we are. So they are these click-up ones, but they're quite narrow. That feels luxurious to me, more luxurious than this, which is really heavy and bulky, and it's crystal, it might smash. You just click in like that. And this one, I've got 2 or 3, is a lovely pinky shade. They're also very narrow, so you can really get the shape just right because the bullet's petite. And they are a bit more expensive than a standard lipstick, but they are so pigmented that you need the tiniest, lightest glide, and they feel like serum. So I would say to anyone, and I have ever since the launch, save your money and get the L'Extrait. And then also they sell refills for this too, and they're like 30, 34, something like that. So yeah, that is a better bet in my humble opinion. And then my last one from Chanel that is a bust is, oh, I just saw some more out of the corner of my eye. 125 Muse. This nail polish is a lovely baby blue. I'm going to ask my friend Andri if she would like me to send this up to her, because she collects nail polish in between when she's having gels. She uses nail polish and she loves exploring all different colours. I am not an expert and I found this very difficult to work with. I felt like with one coat it was sort of translucent but in a patchy way, and if I built it up to 2 shades it was quite thick and it was quite difficult to get the second coat to apply smoothly over the first coat, so I'm giving up. But it's a beautiful porcelain blue. I have since bought one that looks a bit like this is gel, but the shade from the summer collection that's like the glazed donut effect, that applies like a dream. So if I'm having a break from gels, I would just use that because it's very forgiving, sheer kind of metallic-y shade. These are regrets, but they're not terrible. They're just regrets because that's what this video is. It's things I regret buying, but doesn't mean I can't find any use for them. These are the Forever Glow Maximizers from Dior, and you're probably quite surprised to see them turn up in this video. However, I just don't feel they apply as easily as other products that are like a liquid cheek product. They set down, and that obviously, you know, there's always 2 sides to every coin. They set, right, so that they don't disappear like a Merit blush balm or a Rare Beauty blush balm. They're quite metallic and shimmery, and there was a real phase of everything being like that, like the Rare Beauty blushes. I love those. But those give that color shift, highlighty effect in a blush. But because they're a powder and a beautiful creamy, ultra finely milled powder, if you use the right brush, you can get a blown out diffuse effect. No lines, no streaks, no harsh edges. This one in the peach is a beautiful color, but I always found that I never could dot it straight on the cheek. It would just stain immediately. So then I'm using like different sponges or a brush and trying to stipple it on with something like one of these. I just don't find them that easy to use. And the bronze one, I thought, oh, more pigmented, because I didn't want one to be just a highlight. I went for 2 of the shades that I could use as a blush and a bronze. This, I think I should have just, and I have since, just got the By Terry CC serum in Sunny Flash, because that product is the ultimate multi-use makeup product. You can put a bit of it in, it's got a pump, so you could put 1 drop in your foundation to make a more summer shade of your winter foundation. You could put it all over the face on a no makeup day, to give, just to warm up your skin and make yourself look healthy. This isn't that, in that once you put it on, I should have done it at the start of the video, you put it on, you've got a little bit of playtime. It's very pretty, it's very metallic and doesn't look like natural glow. It's quite a statement kind of makeup product, and that looks nice. But I found that when I would apply it, some days it would look okay, and some days I would look at my cheeks and think it just doesn't look diffuse. You can see where I've tried to blend out the edges and stuff, so it's just they're not the easiest formula, and I don't think these are great for people who aren't really into makeup and trying different formulas. They're not like beginner friendly 100%. And then the last thing I want to share with you is going to be very obvious if you know me. It is the worst release of 2024, in my opinion. I'm sure there are others out there, but that I've bought or tried. And this is the Unreal Skin Sheer Glow Tint from Charlotte Tilbury. It looks beautiful. It's a lovely looking stick product, but the product inside, to me, is just simply a stick form of her Hollywood Flawless filter. I'm not crazy about the Hollywood Flawless filter. I think this is even shinier, even more metallic. You can use that liquid formula in more creative ways, like I just explained about the By Terry. You can use it to underpaint. You can put a little bit in something else like a blusher or your foundation to get a bit of glow. This is a stick that you primarily are going to draw onto your face or onto a brush, and it is just... that is not foundation, guys. Look at the shine on it. It doesn't really offer any coverage or any work on my redness or anything like that. It just gives literally a highlight, and it's actually quite glittery. When it dries down on me, it doesn't set, by the way, but when it sinks into my dehydrated face, which most makeup products do, I'm left with a dry tide mark of like glitter. So it didn't even wear long on me. It just performed really badly, and I'm sure there are other people who are getting a better result, but I'm not one of them. And every time I go back and go, let me just try it again, I hate my makeup. So yeah, there you go. I just wanted to share sometimes the things that don't work out. And I'm someone who does a lot of research before I buy makeup. And I sometimes get it wrong. And all of this is wasted money that I could have done something else with. And I just thought, if you were considering any of these, some of them might not even be available now. But I just wanted to share what really didn't work for me, because if I just declutter stuff and you don't see it in favorites, you might think I'm happily using it. But I have a big drawer of makeup here. I don't have a huge system because I'm not a professional beauty like YouTuber or whatever, but I do have a good collection of brushes and makeup and skincare for an amateur. But I like to keep it like tight. I like to keep it stuff I'm using, and if it's not great, even if it's just okay, it usually doesn't hang around. I give it to someone else or something. So some of these things were just okay, but a lot of them, like the lipsticks, are okay, but they were so expensive, I just regret it. And I don't assume that because something is really expensive, it's better. Not necessarily. You don't always get what you pay for. And yeah, use this platform as a research tool. And you can usually find people, I mean, like my favorite beauty YouTubers are Han Beauty 101 and Charlotte Holcroft, because I feel like Han in particular has a very similar likes and dislikes. And if she test something and doesn't like it, I probably won't buy it, kind of thing. So that's really valuable. But when I bought all of these products, I think the thing in common is that I rushed in with excitement about the release. I bought them without really thinking if I needed them or if they were going to work for me. So maybe learn from my mistakes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, something a bit different, and I'll see you next time. Take care.